Did you already discuss neutral? I mean, sort of. Neutral is a really wacky subject. It's especially hard to introduce with, like, it's big. Neutral is big. It's especially weird when you're playing a character like the Ice Climbers, who tends to have lower priority than other people. Burnt all my food watching this stream. Yeah. It's a big subject. Over the course of the 6-hour stream, my computer has only dropped 87 frames. My computer loves me. I'm very happy. Same with the internet connection, I guess. Like, I'll just give you a basic idea for understanding how neutral game works. You are either... You're generally at an advantage, at a disadvantage, you're even with one another, you're getting comboed, or something. Or you're getting edge-guarded. Characters tend to have advantages when they have moves with more range, when they have better speed, when they have both, like Marth. And, yeah. Neutral game is partially decided by what option you can do at any given moment. Oh, you're out, Brawl Rocks. Later. Wombology. So, in neutral, you have control as long as you're able to do a move that can beat the opponent. If you're not in a position where you can do a move that will defeat the opponent based on whatever comes in at you, then you're not really at a disadvantage. You might be in a state of mix-up, where it's like, oh, well, if I do this, it wins, but it loses to this, and I have to make a decision now because of the time pressure, like they're dashing at you. But it's this really big and complicated thing. The main rule is you want to be in positions where you have advantage more often than not. You don't want to randomly throw out moves, because when you do that, you lose control. Marth's forward smash reaches really far. The downside is that once I've done it, I no longer have control. Like, it controls all this space right up until I've thrown it out, at which point, if I haven't hit him, I'm in serious danger. So a lot about neutral game and controlling neutral is about the potential that you have to control it. If someone's in a position to punish you, when you whiff a move, then you're stuck. But this is where, like, whiff baiting becomes important. Where it's like, okay, I want to... Like, if I do this right here, and I whiff at this distance, it might encourage Mewtwo to do something about it. But really, he can't, because he's Mewtwo. Okay, but he can do that through my forward smash, because he's a beast. So it's like, what is Mewtwo going to come out of his shield with at this range? It's going to punish a whiffed fair. Not a whole lot. But this is kind of where mind games and observation and pattern recognition come into it. If I know Mewtwo isn't going to do anything, if Mewtwo knows he can't do anything, he probably won't. If I'm here, I'm here. He might try something, at which point this double jump fair will stuff him. If he just keeps waiting, and I do double jump fair, like I said before, now I've lost some control. Now from there, he could do like short hop up air and hit me. So what you do to cover a whiff is still part of neutral, and it's still subject to that same rule, which is when you do a move, you give up control. You're hoping that you hit them and convert it into an advantage. If you don't hit, then that sucks, because now you're open, generally. Someone like Fox whiffs a shine, the window for punishment is not very high. So you can think you've got an opening, but sometimes you actually just need to already be in the middle of it by the time you realize that you had it. Do you think for certain matchups you need to switch off Ice Climbers? I may have to. I don't think I need to do it for Samus. Like, it's a bad matchup, but it's not as bad as Peach. For Peach, I'm thinking on whether I want to switch off or not. But yeah. When you're playing a neutral game and you do something and you whiff, that's big. How you hit somebody is based on a few things. One of them is going to be the range of your move. So it's like, if I can reach you from where I'm standing, you know, it's like, oh, well, I can hit Mewtwo with my forward smash. Because he's just right there. Hey, no biggie. Let's get him down to the ground. From here, I can also hit Mewtwo with my forward smash, but I have to wave dash first. Or, if my C-stick was open in training mode, I could do dash pivot forward smash. So, something like that. So, he's still in range, in a sense. Like, the grab doesn't reach, but dash grab does. So, you can't just take into account the move, you have to take into account the movement. But the thing is just like any attack, movement costs you something. Dashing forward costs me control over the space I just had. If I want to reclaim that space, I would have to wave dash back. But then I wouldn't be controlling this space anymore. So there's this constant shift and flow of what you're controlling and what you're not controlling. So let's say Mewtwo thinks I'm going to dash grab at him, he can roll behind me. I'll be here controlling less stage, he'll be over here, the opportunity to control, well, I guess I'll have about as much. So, anytime you do a movement, there's a cost. There's a time cost and also a positional one. Doing this dash here, I'm actually not dodging anything, and I'm giving up the opportunity to do like a jab, unless I'm action replay perfect and I can just pivot jab like that all the time. I would have a tough time doing that in a tourney. Could do it now, no pressure. Can't do it to the other direction though, so. But it's like, hey, if I do wave dash, like wave dash down smash covers this ground space. I slide while I do it, it's fast, it's got decent range in total. It doesn't reach super far in front of me, or super far behind me, but overall I cover a lot of space. Especially when I wave dash. Downside is, I'm committed to this slide, right? When I wave dash down smash. So I lose the space behind me. Because I'm down smashing, I also sacrifice the ability to control the space above me, because it doesn't reach that high. I mean, obviously I'm not going to hit him here with a down smash, but a lot of characters can just short hop over the ice climbers. So, wave dash down smash is actually relatively weak in that sense, because there's a lot of stuff it doesn't control. The more you control with a move, generally, the better an option it is. And that's why the Ice Climber's grab, in a lot of senses, just isn't that good. Because first it's attached to a character whose like down smash gets outranged by everybody else's jab. So, attribute-wise, it's not that good. Like, it just doesn't reach that far. Like, if I were Fox, it'd be a dead Mewtwo. The thing, though, is that, like, their grab isn't good, but the grab game is phenomenal because there's two of them, so that's probably for the best that their grab range is bad. So, we'll leave it at that. One of the reasons Ice Climbers have a good neutral game is, again, it's because of control. It's what they don't have to give up. I can Blizzard without giving up stage control, because I can still maneuver while Mana Blizzards. This is why desyncing is good. Falco, why does Falco have a god tier neutral game? Yeah, when you get a touch, you get to play turn-based melee. Falco is a god tier neutral game because this laser keeps controlling space, but I don't have lag. Then when someone's in stun, you forward air off the level and die. Because you're a god. You are the GOAT. Okay, enough of that. And that's why Shine is good, because it barely sacrifices any control. Air mobility is amazing, because being able to cover for yourself after you've whiffed a move is huge. You're like, okay, I may have whiffed this back air and I've lost space, but I'm over here now. So if you were going to punish me, GL, you better be Fox. It's like, yeah, I control space, fast moves, moves with a lot of range, characters with maneuverability, these things all add up to give you an amazing neutral. Marth has a god tier neutral game. Simple reason, his moves are pretty fast, they reach really far, and they're attached to a fast character. For Marth, it is really hard to respond to a Marth that wants to grab you on the ground, because from here, Mewtwo is in serious danger of getting grabbed. Easy. Like, that's fast. And if I do that, like, I can make a Mewtwo flinch from that dash. So, okay, he doesn't want to get grabbed. He rolls towards me. Oh. Whoop. Sorry. So, yeah. That's kind of the basic of understanding neutral is, what do I control from a given position? Spikes? That's actually a great question to ask right now, because Falcon is ultra fast, but his neutral sucks. Explain. Ice Smog. I've thought a lot about the game, talked a lot about the game, read a lot about it, and that's how you learn it, basically. Think, talk, do, review. Yeah. Man, I'm really low on the list of smashers. That's a bummer. I gotta be fancier. Oh, you're going out again, undisabled? Alright, peace. Thank you for carefully modding my chat. No toucans while you're here. So anyhow, Marth, from here, covers a lot of space. If he's in his shield, for instance. Covers behind him. Covers above him. He can even counter. Counter out of shield. God tier. And then wave dash out of shield. When I'm in my shield, I'm still attacking Mewtwo in a certain sense because I have the potential to just be there. I also control the space immediately in front of me with this up B of mine. Although it's risky, I still have that option. With the advent of shield dropping, when I'm shielding on a platform, I control the space down and immediately in front of me as well, because I can just forward air from there. Back when you couldn't, controlling that space took forever to get to, so you couldn't really say I had it under immediate control. I'd have to jump and transition into a state where I could. The Silothics. First thing I do with anybody who thinks tiers don't exist is I say this. Alright. Imagine Ryu from Street Fighter. Now imagine we're playing a version of Street Fighter where you have Ken. And Ken, in this version of Street Fighter, his attacks reach 10% farther. They're the same character. Your attacks now reach 10% farther. They have 10% less startup, 10% less ending lag. They do 10% more damage, and 10% more hits done for combos. I think I mentioned the 10% range. And Ken has 10% more health. Numerically speaking, Ken is better than Ryu. The answer might be, okay, but what if the Ryu player is just better? Well, then he could just play Ken. And he would then do infinitely better than any Ryu that was at a skill level. So now I want you to ask yourself, what do you think are the odds that in a cast of 26 characters with all these different moves, that they all have, like, mathematically comparable range, damage, health, all that? Hi, Bear Rest. So you can get characters pretty far for sure, especially in a game like this where pushing one is tough. But can I platform cancel that? That would be the sickest. That doesn't look like it can. Almost though, dang. He's so close, dude. I bet he can, dude. If I could just be frame perfect. Shucks. Oh well. Anyhow, that's why stuff like, hey, a platform cancel is great, because it ends the lag. So I get to cover this space twice. Or I could just, if I wanted, block immediately after attacking. So I could cover myself. Or, and then because I can block, I can roll, block and roll. It's the best kind of music. Marth covers up and behind him, down and in front of him at the same time with moves. Part of why he's got such a great neutral. Depending on how hard stuff is to punish, also matters. But yeah. So then someone asked, Falcon. Why is Falcon so fast, but he's got such a bad neutral? He doesn't have a terrible neutral, per se. It's not Fox, and it's not Sheik and Marth, you know. Part of it is, look at the space right in front of my leg. If I can't grab it, I can't hit it. Because this doesn't hit it, that doesn't hit it, that's not going to hit it. I have to do this, like what, 5-frame jump, then billion frames start up down air to hit that space in front of me. So there are all these spaces that Falcon just can't reach, where he's genuinely weak. Underneath himself is pretty big. Like, his down air has insane range, but you've got to do it so far in advance. The faster characters just laugh. And that's the same problem as other moves have. Up air comes out reasonably quickly. Nair comes out reasonably quickly. Back air doesn't. When you're comparing them to like Fox Nairs and Sheik Nairs and their tilts, and then you consider the ending lag of them, Falcon has to lose a lot of control to do these moves that don't have a lot of immediate control. So particularly when you get on him, he has no real way of responding. So yeah. So then Falcon has things like, well, from a dash, he has the exact same issue. He has to aim, generally speaking, he has to aim stuff from far away, which gives people more time to react, respond, or more room for him to simply make a mistake. Now, his dash dance camping into grab is phenomenal. It suffers a bit because of how big he is, so he can be kind of easy to hit when he's... The more precise you try to play around other people's hitboxes, the bigger characters have bigger disadvantages. So when he's trying to do a perfect dash dance game around a Fox's Nair jab, Nair shine, then, you know, he can have problems. So Falcon generally has to do things a little more in advance. He's not as safe. He's easier to combo in general. And again, that's very related to this idea that he doesn't have good get-off-me tools. And that his stuff can be really laggy if he whiffs it. So you've got to find good places to cancel his lag, so... Platform canceling is ideal for giving him a little more control. And, you know, he's got a wonderful combo game to make up for some of these disparities. And then you've got Fox. It seems that you are crisp with many characters. Why is your motivation behind Ices? I don't know. I've just been playing them a long time. I really like them. I have fun with them. I'm not done with them. All that stuff. I shouldn't watch the OBS window. I should be watching my actual TV. So then you got Fox. Down B, not a lot of range, but cancel instantly. And it makes him invincible. And it reflects projectiles, but we don't talk about that. When Fox does something like whiffs a full jump back air, he has a ton of options for covering his retreat. So in a lot of places, Fox is low commitment. If he decides, hey, you know, I don't like this, he's out. His wave dash is fast. He himself is not big, so he can be hard to hit. His moves come out quickly. We haven't touched on like combo game and damage, but we'll just talk about maneuvering and openers. So because of this movement, and these fast moves associated with it, this Mewtwo, this poor Mewtwo, has to respect me from here. Because that'll reach. And yeah, you might react to seeing it happen in time, but then even if he shields, he's stuck shielding against my shine pressure, so whatever. He tries to dash away and punish. He has to deal with these jabs. If he tries to play around the jabs, he has to assume they're coming because I might just dash away and be safe again. Fox makes you guess a lot because all of his stuff controls you and threatens you from so far away in a way that, like, Falcon doesn't. And then, again, if Fox whiffs, he can be very safe anyhow. That hasn't even touched on his ability to dash dance camp for grabs. And his ability to grab you from all the way back there. I'm dash dancing right here. You never know when this grab's gonna come. Yeah, you might see this little dash in that goes a little deeper. And you know what? If you think that I'm gonna do that, you might dodge, but if you're that good that you see that and dodge, and I know that, I can bait that. So I'm the one with all the control over your decision making. And then you go, okay, well, this guy's being an asshole. I can just leave. You try and aggress me, Mewtwo tries to wave dash down tilt, dash dance camp grab. I make you make decisions based on what I want, and that's huge for controlling neutral. It makes people crack under the pressure of just me moving. And if you can make somebody crack just by moving, that's big because then you don't have to swing. If you don't have to swing, you don't have to sacrifice your control. So Sheik and Falcon are identical. They both have down throw forward air. Actually, I tricked you. That's a trick. We all know Sheik. We all know that Falcon doesn't have a forward air. He has a knee. He sacrifices forward air for a knee. So, does Peach have a good neutral? Yes and no. I know no one asked that in chat, but yes and no. She has a good neutral because float cancel. What have I sacrificed for landing with the snare? Mostly I've sacrificed being in the air, but I can be back. You know? I could jump. Teach us to Samus? Sure thing, adventurer. But think about it like this. If I have a turnip, now look at all the space that I potentially control. I could throw it straight up, forward, back, but I can also still float aerials. So this space in front of me, I haven't sacrificed much of anything. But that's only true as long as I can float. So I'm still strong, but there's a caveat attached. So now your question, when you're fighting this Peach in neutral, hey, she's got a turnip, is how do I exploit this fact that she has to float to not turnip me? Donk. 16% off of a fucking vegetable. Samus. Samus's neutral is meh. She's got interesting quirks, though. First off, she does cover a lot of space with her moves, and forward tilt, for instance, is relatively quick. Up tilt, probably safer on the end lag, but takes forever to start. Jab's good, but crouch cancelable, or just hide under them. A lot of her moves are laggy, and her high jump means she doesn't really control certain areas very well. It takes forever to reach them, so that makes her kind of weak in those regards. On the other hand, woo! Invincible up B. That's pretty sick. If she's at the mid-range, she can be pretty strong because... Missile. Anytime you have a move that cancels and goes to control space for you, you've got a good setup going. And, yeah, again, cancels lag, so... You can follow your own missile and stand inside of it for a bit, if you're slick.